India's ever-growing middle class has money to spend. New Delhi Bureau Chief Satinder Bindra finds out what they're buying.
Catering to the new taste and thirst of a middle-class India, bartender Jaideep Malik is participating in a cocktail mixing contest. Bloody Marys, screwdrivers, vodka martinis. Just a while ago, few Indians would have been able to name, let alone afford such drinks. But after years of 7 to 8% growth, 300 million Indians, all part of the country's middle class, are acquiring new and more expensive tastes. A majority of India's middle class is well educated, well spoken, and their mantra in life is not to save but spend. Some studies show younger Indians burn more than $10 billion in cash every year on luxury items. Some of that money ends up in clothes designer Sonal Rastogi's pocket. She sells her women's suits anywhere from $300 to $1,000 each.
If the clothes are nice, if they're interesting, they don't mind paying exorbitant prices.
Rastogi says disposable incomes in India are rising because more and more women like her are now working. She can afford a $15,000 Korean-made car. As part of a growing middle-class trend, Rastogi also carries a lot of plastic and loves to eat out. It wasn't always this way. Rastogi's mother-in-law recalls how her generation lived frugally. But now, with access to dozens of international TV channels, Rastogi says she has higher aspirations. Her income, combined with that of her husband, she says, also allows her to spend more on her daughter Meher. In the next 20 years, it's expected Western business interest in India will grow as the country's middle class swells to about 500 million.
Still, hundreds of millions of Indians will remain desperately poor. And many sociologists believe the country's biggest challenge will soon be to avoid tensions between those riding a wave of prosperity and others who see very little hope.
Many middle-class Indians have little time for such talk. They say the country's high growth rates are slowly but surely reducing poverty levels, which they say is enough to get them to raise a toast to the new India. Satinder Bindra, CNN, New Delhi.